Liverpool signed Jérémy Jacquet, a young French defender from Rennes, and it was coming. Welcome to Marching Reds. I am Aman Chima, and here I am to have a look at the recent transfer activity done by Liverpool and to see and analyze what are the side-on effects that this deal will have for the team, for the squad in the build-up play, and how the deal structure is looking. So let's start right away. To put things into context, I have to start again from the summer of 2025, where we splashed out 450 million pounds according to some, half a billion pounds according to some. You can make your own numbers up, but we did have a heavy investment made in the squad, but only true Liverpool fans knew the fact that we were slightly looking thin in terms of our defending options. So, looking very carefully at the centre back situation right now, everybody knew that Liverpool was out and out ready to buy a centre back. And of course, the hot topic at that time was that why did we end up spending 130 million pounds? And instead of that, we could have used that money to get two defenders. But my answer to that would be those are two completely different things. To get a striker which was in form, on the upward curve in terms of performances and reaching his peak, that is a separate case to us signing defenders. And had it not been for Crystal Palace's manager, we would have gotten Gehi also. But the point that I'm trying to come at is those two are separate situations. And maybe for a neutral, or maybe in hindsight, you can come up with any argument or make any reasonings behind the decisions that Liverpool made, or the shortcomings that Liverpool are facing right now is because of the lack of planning. But according to me, Liverpool fans have seen this through the years that we do not just sign anybody. We sign a player looking at the research and the data that we do, and which is a thorough process and which requires a lot of background checks, a fit for the squad, and a lot of things that can help our game move forward. So, again, I don't want to delve into a different topic altogether. I just want to stick to why this deal is a massive, massive one for us. Because, first of all, looking at the centre back options that we have, Virgil van Dijk, our skipper, I mean, the greatest centre back, according to me, but he's entering his final 2 years of the contract, the one that he signed last year. Second on the list is Ibrahima Konate, who is entering his final stage and as we speak has now already entered his final 5 months of the contract. My hope and wish is that he does end up signing a contract extension with us, but it's a developing situation and we'll see how it goes. The third best defender is Joe Gomez. And although he's been the most loyal servant, I would not like to use the word servant, but he's been here since almost a decade now. And the fact that his injury record and his availability issues are a concern, you will not be banking on him to appear in like 30 odd appearances for us. And that is the only big issue that we have thinking about Joe Gomez. And then the fourth defender was Giovanni Leoni, our young Italian centre back that we signed over the summer, who unfortunately injured his ACL in his very first appearance and is out for the season. I'm not even considering the midfielders right now. So it was very important for us to strengthen our backline, specifically in that position. And it was fascinating to see how Liverpool think tank would approach the January transfer window, knowing very well the slump in performances we had, the defensive issues that we were having. And some would still argue that, how can you let Mark Gehi go to Manchester City for a 20 million transfer fee? And even in that moment, of course, it felt bad that, he was our primary target and the deal was so close. But how did things change? But even at that point of time, I knew in my gut the fact that if Liverpool does not think that the price that they're paying for that player at that time is not worth it, I have to believe in that think tank. I have to believe in that process, because that process has led out to us gaining success, us gaining results across the years. And yes, he could have improved us massively. But having said all of this, you still need to trust and have that confidence in the people who are making these decisions. Because, I mean, if you're a Liverpool fan, you already knew that, like, when we signed Isaac, when we signed Ekitike, Beards, Frimpong, Kirkes, everybody was excited. Yes, the results have not been as per to our standards, but that's the truth. That's the harsh reality that we'll have to deal with. And I'm sure that maybe till the end of the season, or maybe let's say 12 months from now, 18 months from now, these signings will definitely be not replacing the old team members, but will be definitely becoming those players that you'll be fondly remembering about when we signed them in the summer of 2025. So now solely focusing on Jérémy Jacquet, he's a young defender from Rennes. The deal is that we will get his services, of course, subject to international clearance, starting next season. And the fee is £55 million plus 5 million in add-ons, and that is a hefty fee to pay for a club like Liverpool, and to believe in a young centre back who has not had as many minutes as you would like for a 60 million player, but he is the guy who is looked up as the potential long-term centre back for Liverpool. For this season, again, we'll have to bank on other few players to come back from their injuries, or maybe a certain midfielder playing in a centre back position. But what this deal tells us, or tells me, is the fact that, okay, you know what, we've secured one of the top talents in Europe, and having beaten competition from like Chelsea, Bayern Munich, again, you can name a few more teams, to still make this Liverpool project exciting and be able to sell it to other young players out there is definitely a boost for us. Because 6 months before, you just needed to mention Liverpool and everybody used to get excited. But now, with what we've seen, the fact that this deal got through only tells not only the other people or the other players who are trying to look towards Liverpool that, you know what, it might be an exciting destination for us. The lure of Anfield, the fact that the European nights are played in the most amazing way possible. As of now, they are currently the Premier League champions, and you can come here, develop your game, and be a part of the folklore that people and the fans would be singing about. So with the centre back situation currently, not only he adds another body in there, but the fact that we could be, or hopefully would be, switching to a back three, in which you would see Virgil van Dijk in the center, Jérémy Jacquet on one of the sides, and maybe it would be Ibrahima Konate, which I hope he is, given that the fact that he extends his contract, or it could be Joe Gomez, or maybe Giovanni Leone. And that would be the perfect breeding ground for these players to develop their game, learn from the best in Virgil van Dijk himself, not to replace him out and out, but also get to know what it takes to become a Liverpool central defender. What would this deal mean to the current squad that we have? First of all, it would be that we are still in a transition phase. The transition has not completely been made. You would still expect a few more deals, especially in the centre back position. I am expecting another centre back to be signed. Maybe one or two players would be signed in the midfield role also, and maybe a winger. So that just means that the transition is, as of now, not fully complete, but is definitely underway. They are doubling down on the plans that they had from the summer, including this Jérémy Jacquet deal, and the fact that there would be a little more investment in the summer, hopefully getting the right players who fit our team, who fit our gameplay, and at that right price, we would become a force to reckon with. Of course, I would want Liverpool to win every trophy every season, and that goes without even saying it. But the fact that we are signing a younger age profile, Jérémy Jacquet being just 20 years old, we would have to be realistic with our expectations. Not saying that we cannot win the league next year, or for that matter, the next to next year, but there needs to be a constant progression being made. And as you saw with Wirtz, Kirkes, Frimpong, they needed time to settle in within the Premier League, and that's what we have to allow these players to just be themselves, even if it's very difficult for them to move countries, to move clubs, and to come to a bigger club like Liverpool and sort of find their own game and find their own rhythm. So it's a massive deal for Liverpool. It's a massive deal for Jérémy Jacquet. And I just hope that it turns out to be one of the most shrewd investments. And looking back after a decade or so, I just hope Jérémy Jacquet, a jacket. I mean, we'll get to know more about his name and his pronunciation because definitely he's a top talent. I hope that we look back at this deal and sort of realize, okay, this is how and when Liverpool secured their long-term future, at least in that centre back position. Lastly, I would like to say that would just mean that Arne Slot has the full backing of the board, full backing of Richard Hughes, Michael Edwards, and they would like to see him continue as the manager, and that is something that I really wanted. There are rumors of Xabi Alonso still being associated with Liverpool's job, which I personally don't mind. The rationale behind is that just because they've signed Jérémy Jacquet, they might be moving to a back three, and Xabi Alonso has played a back three. But again, I am much more confident in Arne Slot being at the helm, and if we do end up switching to a back three, not only it would help Jérémy Jacquet, Frimpong has played in that system, Weers has played in that system, Kirkes would excel in that system because then he would get a left wing back role. So these are all positive signs, and this is a fascinating deal that Liverpool have done. I am all excited about it, but now, as I said in my review of the Newcastle game, now we just have to make sure that we have those cracking performances on the pitch again and again so that we make sure that we get into the top 4, top 5 spots in the Premier League, get our Champions League qualification back on track, and if possible, I don't want to jinx it, but I'll just phrase it like this, that I hope that we go on much, much, much further in the Champions League than the last time around. So, Jérémy Jacquet, welcome to Liverpool, and I can't wait to see you at Anfield in that red jersey. So let me know, what did you think about this transfer? Did you think that Liverpool ended up paying more than what they should have paid for that kind of a player? Do you think it is a decent investment? Do you think Arne Slot is more in or out after this deal? Let me know whatever you think about this transfer and how it affects Liverpool as the club overall. And if you've liked this video, let me know by liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and I will see you very shortly in the next one. Till then, take care.